this is going to be your love and relationship and career reading for the rest of September and for all of October. That smoke is sage smoke, by the way. It's coming from behind the computer. And so, first I'm going to do love and relationships, and then I will do your career, job, and money situation. I'm going to do a 6-card spread for Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, for love and relationships for the rest of September and all of October 2018, for Virgo singles and Virgos that are in relationships or have just met someone. I'm wearing my favorite hat today. I hope you don't mind. Now that the weather is changing and the air is getting a little bit more nippy than usual, I'm enjoying wearing some of my fallen winter gear. I'm weird. I like to wear winter hats indoors. They make me feel cozy. So, okay. Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, love and relationships. 6 cards, please. I hope you guys are well. I didn't get any feedback from Virgo people on whether or not you guys were actually interested in getting a health reading, so I am not going to be adding health at the end of this like usual this time around. If there do happen to be Virgo people that do have some health issues or would like a health reading, feel free to let me know either by email or by commenting on this video for me. Even if it's just one person who's interested in seeing a health reading, I will totally do it for just one person. This month, the only 2 signs that said that they were interested in health readings were Libras and Aquariuses, so I'm going to do their health this month. But again, let me know, and my email link is in the About section. If you go to my channel itself, there's an About section, and my email is in there in case you're too shy to actually comment on the actual video itself. Let's see what's going on for you for love and relationships. And obviously, this is a collective reading for Virgos, so some of this may not apply, all of it may not apply, all of it might apply. It really just depends. This is in Virgo's best, highest good, along with whatever they most need to hear about concerning love and relationships. Okay, here we go. Sorry for the wait. Thank you for being patient. Ooh. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune has been coming up for people quite a bit so far. It seems like there are a lot of things happening right now. Kind of makes sense. The seasons are changing, so other things are changing too. Okay, I'm going to pick one clarifier and then I'll show you your 6 cards. Actually, 2 clarifiers, maybe 3. Looks like you're currently dealing with a lot right now. Okay. So here are your 6 cards. The first one is Strength. The second one is the Ace of Pentacles. The third one is the Two of Cups. The fourth one is the Sun. The fifth one, the Emperor. The final sixth card is the Wheel of Fortune. It looks like whatever is going on, the majority of the difficulty or complexities are happening presently, but your future looks excellent. And your past doesn't look that bad either. So in the recent past with relationships, it looks like you have become extremely strong in yourself. You may have even been involved with a Leo. Both of these are major arcana cards and they're Leo cards. You have strength over the sun. So this leads me to believe that in the past you have become very strong in what your boundaries are, or very strong in who you are and what you need in relationships. And also proper give and take in relationships, mutual respect, mutual gentleness, mutual uplifting each other, empowering each other. It seems as though you've made quite a bit of effort in making sure that you're still taking time out. This is if you're in a relationship. I'll interpret this for singles too. It looks like you've put a lot of emphasis and time into actual enjoyment in the relationship, whether this is going to go see plays together, going outdoors for nature walks, getting back in touch with what lights your fire, so to speak, or what brings you joy and happiness, and things like play, enjoyment, hobbies, talents, uplifting each other, feeling strong in who you are and what you need, wanting to provide that for your partner as well, wanting to encourage them to do their best or to do what makes them happy. And this is also what you've been wanting from your partner as well. It's just support, especially moral support, or feeling stronger because your partner is so encouraging. This is what you've been wanting, or what you've been getting, or what you've been focusing on. And just having a nice balance between work and play, or your normal routines, and with trying new things that can bring some fresh, exciting energy into the relationship. For singles, this may be that recently in the past you have met someone who is very leonine or extremely strong, creative, warm, caring, uplifting, empowering. Just someone that you feel really strong with. You know how some people can make you feel vulnerable or sensitive or unsure, and then there are other people, oftentimes our best friends, our closest family members, the people that we're closest to, that make us feel strong when we're around them. They make us feel powerful and strong and whole, just by how they see us, how they treat us. It feels as though you have possibly met someone who makes you feel very encouraged and strong in who you are. And if you haven't met anyone, this seems to be what you've been wanting and focusing on, is if you are going to be in a relationship. In the recent past, you've definitely fully realized that this is what you want. You want someone who is empowering, someone who respects you, someone who sees you for all of your amazing gifts and talents and abilities, someone who truly respects and honors you, someone who can uplift you. This is also what you want to do for someone else. It feels as though you really need the extra support, or you need the extra encouragement. And this is what you've been focusing on, as well as being strong in yourself, knowing exactly what you want, who you are, what you don't want, it looks very good. You've definitely been maintaining boundaries on what you will or will not accept. And you definitely want someone who can encourage you or encourage you with your gifts and talents, with being able to express yourself fully. Okay? So presently, you have the Ace of Pentacles over the Emperor. I'm wondering if perhaps presently you've just been working a lot, or you have a lot of responsibilities and things you're trying to upkeep or do, or a lot of duties and responsibilities. It feels as though you enjoy what you do and you have talents at this, but for some reason you may have a lot on your plate at this time that you have to handle or address or deal with. This may possibly be getting in the way of relationships. That's one way of looking at this. Another way of looking at this is that some of you may have started a relationship in the recent past with someone, and now, because you have the Ace of Pentacles in here, this is saying that it's getting off to a really good start, and it's proving to be reliable, steady, stable, fruitful, able to grow in the future, able to become something even more than it is now. There's definitely a feeling of feeling grounded, feeling supported. This Emperor makes me wonder if maybe you've started a relationship with someone who is a very strong person or has a lot of clout, or maybe is in a position of authority with what they do in their life. Someone who is most definitely an adult. We're not talking about people who never completely grew up all the way, or people who can't handle responsibility. If this is a person that you've been involved with, this is someone who is very capable, very strong, and very mature. Someone who is able to handle responsibility, someone who is able to pull their own weight in the relationship, and also be a very nice, solid support system, or just, yeah, to really support you. And someone who truly values you, someone who honors you, values you. I'm almost getting in here someone who wants to take care of you, or someone who wants to see you do even better than you've been doing, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to support you in this growth that you're going through. That's another way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is that you're realizing something about your old way of doing relationships, or old way of thinking about relationships, is a little too limiting. Maybe it's become a little bit too regimented, or too regular, or too predictable. And so you're really wanting to plant some new seeds in the relationship, especially if this has been a long-standing relationship you've been in for a long time now. Perhaps things have gotten maybe a tiny bit too stagnant or too regulated, and so you're wanting to bring in some new, fresh energy into this. Perhaps new things that you do together that you haven't done in a very long time, or have never done. This can be so many things. I could list it off for ages, but you know more than me what your interests are and what you would like to bring into the relationship, whether it's going on walks together, doing fun things together, going to outings together, going to plays, just bringing some fresh energy into the relationship that make it feel like it is still growing, instead of you've grown as much as you possibly could, and now you've just kind of hit an impasse or a ceiling with this. It may even be that you're planning on building something together, or creating something together that is very long-lasting and stable. Whether it's a business together, or a home together, or a piece of land together, something. And so let's look at the clarifiers. I'll also go into this if you're single as well. Your clarifiers for the Emperor is the Five of Pentacles, or are the Five of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Chariot. And so what I'm getting here, whether you're single or in a relationship, I'm kind of getting the same thing here, which is saying that the reason why you have built things up so much is for a sense of security. Perhaps in the past or recently you have fallen upon hard times with money, or just had some losses perhaps. Perhaps you have lost a job or lost a home, or just lost a certain amount of money, or you have felt left out in the past, where you had, one way of looking at this is that you have had stability and you have been able to count on something, but it's not feeding you completely the way that you really need in a relationship, whether it's emotional needs, physical needs, any kind of needs that you have that you feel as though have been lacking, or you haven't been getting enough of what you need in order to feel completely secure. Or perhaps you're with someone who works so much or is so well established that you don't really have enough quality time with them, or you haven't had enough quality time with them. Or perhaps in the past you've actually been abandoned by a past relationship where you thought it was solid and it was going to last a long time, but it fell apart somehow, or they abandoned you, or you feel as though you've been abandoned. And so this has brought up a lot of insecurities for you. This may even stem from the far distant past, as in from your upbringing, from your childhood, from your family. It could even, some of this stuff may even be long-standing in your family lineage. I'm getting in here something for someone where you come from a family where a certain amount of the people in the family are hoarders, where they hoard massive amounts of either money or objects or things, or it's easy for them to become stagnant and stay in one place for a very long time because of this need for security. Perhaps somewhere along the line, a few generations ago, there was some trauma there, and so how they reacted to it was to try to build things up as much as possible so that nothing would ever be able to be taken away from them. But this is changing now. You're changing now. You're realizing some of these things on a very deep emotional level, that you can't continue to feel as though you have to cling or hang on to what you have, even if it's stagnant and you've outgrown it, or it's just for the sake of security or material security, or even reputation, rather than getting your emotional needs met. Excuse me, I have an itchy nose. Hang on. My nose gets itchy sometimes. This may even be something that has existed along your matrilineal line, where your mother is like this, or your grandmother, or that's one very specific message in here. It could be anybody really, though. But what I am getting is there's something about this past experience that has made you feel very insecure or sensitive about certain things, and you have built yourself up to possibly a position of authority or of a position of strength in your own being, where perhaps you have drowned these old sensitivities or tried to cover them up or pretend that they aren't there or don't exist. And so you are fully acknowledging these things now and focusing on how you can actually move forward with relationships. If you're going to keep your relationships and your relationships are extremely meaningful for you, you're thinking about what can be done in order to have the relationship continue to grow, evolve, and move forward rather than becoming too stagnant. I'm getting this is specific for someone who's been in a very long-standing relationship, or this is a long-standing pattern with relationships. So as far as singles go, if you're not in a relationship at all, you are possibly realizing presently that in the past you have clung to relationships that you may have outgrown, or they weren't necessarily feeding certain aspects of your being, but you stuck with them because of either material security or just the feeling of security that you could depend on this, or that you have wanted something like this that's kind of your rock to cling to, or your rock that steadies you. But you're realizing now that you do want that security and you do want that solid base, but you want it to be less stagnant. You want it to be more fruitful. You want it to be more adaptable, flexible, creative, fun. You want things to be more fun. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to find a relationship where you have stability, but you also have play. You also have enjoyment and room to grow, room to evolve, and room to add things to this. And so this is making you realize the things in you that have led you to thinking in the past that you need this instead of this, because of what I just mentioned, which is a feeling of lack, being abandoned, being left out in the cold, being afraid that this is going to happen again. But you are fully acknowledging these things now, working on them, clarifying up where these things come from and what you need to do in order to move forward to attract this instead of this, or to have both of these things together. And it may even be that in the past you may have gone for people that were like this, that were emotionally needy or overly sensitive or easily hurt, or just at times they seemed stable and at other times they were completely unstable. And so you want to get away from that energy and really find someone who is a true adult, who can hold their own, figure out their own problems, and be able to be a good support for themselves, as well as for you, and for you to do that for them as well. I think that I kind of hit all the things with that. And so this is where it gets good. And I'm not going to pick any clarifiers because this is so lovely just as it is, pure and simple. In the near future, if you are single, you are fully going to be meeting someone. I feel as though you've been doing a lot of internal work on yourself. You've been really diving deep, so to speak, into your own being to see where these old patterns come from. And so you are changing. You are changing for the better. You're evolving and you're attracting something completely different from what you used to attract. And not only that, you don't even have to necessarily think too much about how to meet this person or where to go. They're going to be brought to you by the fates. It's just going to happen naturally. And you will know that this is the right person for you because you have such an easy flow between the two of you in how you communicate, how you think about things, just mutual respect, mutual kindness, mutual maturity, wanting to empower each other, wanting to hold each other up emotionally. It just looks so lovely, you guys. And if you have been in a long-standing relationship, there's a very good chance that you're going to have some kind of a very positive shift in your relationship. I'm getting something specific, as in you have taken the initiative with this, whether it's you realized you were too stagnant together in your locations, so you changed locations, or you have become too stagnant in your job and it's taking time away and energy away from the relationship, so you are cutting back on your hours, or you've realized that something about your traditions or the things that you normally do together, like perhaps working, coming home, watching TV, reading a book, talking with each other a little bit, having dinner, and then going to bed. Or every day you always take the dog out on a walk to the same place, or so on. You know what I'm saying here. So You have realized that the routines are very old and you need to switch things up and bring something new in. Whether it's, I don't know, you know more than me on how you want to switch things up or what you would like to bring into your life. But because of this initiative that you've taken and the deep inner work that you've been doing, you are going to see immediate results in your relationship. This may even help snap your partner out of any possible stagnancy that they are stuck in, where you're truly seeing things differently, not just yourself, but you and your partner are seeing things differently. You're more aware of what's available to you or what is possible for you. There's just a really nice feeling of optimism now, of working together rather than against each other. Not that you were working against each other in the past. That is one possibility, but it doesn't have to be. But you're really emphasizing working together in the future. Things like compromise, talking things out, talking about your common dreams or things you would like to do together, adventures you would like to have together. I'm getting something in here about a awesome journey or vacation or some place both of you have always wanted to go, and now finally in the future you're planning on going there, or some dream, mutual dream that you guys have had that you're finally planning on implementing, or it just kind of naturally happens. If you have been single and you have recently met someone, this looks like it is doing really well. And you guys mesh really well together, and you're starting to realize in your future that there's more than meets the eye with this relationship. This relationship might have seemed simple in the past or when you met them, but you're realizing there's a lot more to it than that. A lot more magic and luck and optimism involved in here, or just things together. You're luckier together than you were apart or single. And just an emphasis on things like trying to work things out or compromise, or trying really hard to see someone else's viewpoint or each other's viewpoint. It's very great. Yeah, that's lovely. And that's one of the nicest ones so far, besides maybe Cancer. So I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully that made sense or helped in some way. And I will see you in a second for your career reading. Okay, here we go. This is for Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, for their career, job, money, goal situation. In Virgo's best, highest good, along with whatever they most need to hear about concerning career, jobs, and money and goals. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to try to speak louder. I've had this table for forever. It's my favorite table, but it is quite wobbly. I've been having to shuffle the cards on my lap just to keep it from jiggling the table. Maybe someday I'll be able to invest in a tripod so I can actually show you what I'm doing, or even better, show you the layout itself. I actually am really bad with computers, and I have been learning how to do these things through some dear friends of mine that have been helping me figure these things out. And they said next step is figuring out how to actually put the layout of the cards in the top corner so that you can actually see what I'm reading. But hopefully me holding the cards up where you can see them helps, just to kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. Okay. Career, jobs, money, goals. Here we go. 6 cards. Feels like you're really moving. You're really moving ahead, you guys. I really feel like you've had some kind of a breakthrough and you're really starting to get more clarity and move forward more than before. Yeah, getting a lot of clarity and focus going on here. Ooh, okay. Okay, I'm going to pick a couple of clarifiers and then I'll show you. You may have even let go of a job so that you could focus more on the things that really matter to you. Some of you, that's definitely an option in here. Okay, here we go. This is actually quite exciting. I'm really happy for you. There are some, it seems like whatever's going on for you, a lot of it is happening presently. You have a lot going on presently, but things are about to get a lot better, you guys, especially if you get through this period right now. So, your first card is the Chariot again. Your second card is the Ace of Pentacles again. It really feels like you're turning a new leaf, or you're beginning a new chapter of a way of doing things, or just how, yeah, you're starting something new in your life. Okay, the third one is your major, or one of your major arcana cards. I'm trying to think, do you have any other ones? I think this is your only one. Yeah. The Hermit, one of your cards. Your fourth one is the Four of Swords. Your fifth one is the Devil, which I picked a number of clarifiers for this, and it's not as bad as it seems. The sixth one, or final one out of your 6 cards, is the Knight of Pentacles. Very good. This is one of your court cards. You actually have 2 of your cards on top of each other in here. So, this is pretty straightforward, this one. You have the Chariot over the Four of Swords. And so what I'm getting, nice and simple, very quick, is that you have realized if you want to focus, if you want to move ahead, if you want to go toward your goals and get more focus and clarity over what you're doing in your life, you have realized that you need to take care of yourself and you need to rest. And you need to take downtime, time to just simply relax, clear your mind, do something simple like read books, take naps, take baths, whatever you need to do in order to rest, or just simply sleeping enough. In the past, you may have been working so much that you haven't been sleeping well, or you haven't been taking enough time to just relax and take care of yourself. But you have fully realized this, that if you really are going to carry these goals out, you need to take care of yourself and rest enough. Otherwise, you won't be able to focus or move ahead. If you are exhausted, confused, your mind's on overdrive, or you're thinking too much, or you can't think straight because you're not resting enough or taking care of yourself. You have fully realized this. And so I feel as though you have been making a great effort to, you're not completely out of the water yet, but I feel as though you are definitely making an effort and trying really hard to set time aside to take care of yourself, or at least get enough rest. If you have had insomnia issues or problems with being able to sleep, even when you're in bed and you're ready to go to sleep, I see this as possibly being cleared up in the future somehow, possibly by changing your routines, or changing your direction, or changing your actual job. So that's the recent past. Presently, you have the Ace of Pentacles over the Devil. So what I'm getting here is that presently you have realized that something about your career or your work or the things you're having to do right now is taking too much time away from the things that truly matter to you in your life, as in things like family, children, your lover or your partner, or just the things that you really want to be doing with your life and the things that you really need to be putting your energy into. It feels as though your work situation has become too controlling, too limiting, or it's just simply too much work or too much responsibility, or just something about where you have been. Perhaps you have a not so good boss, or something about the system that you work with is not what you went into it for. One analogy could be if you went into the medical world, as in being a doctor or a nurse or working somehow in the hospital system or the healing system, you have realized over time that the system isn't really running in a way that is really conducive to people being able to heal properly. And so you have perhaps been delving into trying out new ways of learning about healing, or new methods of healing, or wanting to go in a different direction with healing. Not that you change your focus of your career or your field, just changing the actual system, or getting out of the system to do a new method or a new way of doing this thing. Perhaps even starting your own business or a new branch of this. Something. That's one option. Another one is you simply have just outgrown it, or it's become way too limiting and controlling where you don't have enough time to do the things that really matter to you. And so I'm going to show you the clarifiers for the devil specifically, which are the Tower and the Princess of Wands. So there's so many stories in here. I'm going to try to name them all off. So one possibility is that you work with either children, childcare, children, teaching, or even working in the medical world with children, as in like a children's hospital, or this could have to do with an actual child and how your work or overworking is taking time away from a precious child in your life that needs your attention at this time. And so you have realized that the system that you're working with is not cutting it. It's not doing it, or it's taking too much of your energy away. You're feeling too controlled by this job or this career or this system you're working with. That's one way of looking at it. And so you are already thinking about getting out and trying something completely new, or starting something new that you have thought about starting for a very long time, or a new way, a new method, or a new system on how to do this, or even just simply a new job. If you don't have a career or aren't a boss or the owner of your own business, and it's just simply a job, something about your present job is taking way too much of your time and energy away from possibly a child that you have, or just the things that you really want to be doing with your life that have more to do with what you enjoy, and just simply having enough time to take care of yourself or take care of other people. And so you're realizing it's time to get a new job. If you delay this ending or delay this change, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get rid of your career. It may just mean it needs a major revamp or a renovation on how this thing works, or how much time and how much time you're spending on this. It feels like it's taken your life over. If you do not shift, or if you do not change this pattern that's happening, it is going to fall apart. Something about it, either that or you're going to fall apart. You may get sick, or you may just have a nervous breakdown. Sorry for putting it that way. I know that that's not the case for a lot of you. But that's what I'm getting from this, is it almost feels as though you're going to break down if you keep on falling prey to this system, or this it's taken over your life. You feel as though you can't be yourself, or you can't do what you want to do. And so if you don't start shifting towards either a new way, or lessening your hours, or reporting a corrupt boss, or something, if something doesn't shift, either you or it is going to fall apart. But ultimately, if it does fall apart, hopefully it's not you falling apart, but if it does fall apart, it's only going to bring you quicker to this, even though it's kind of chaotic, which will free up time in your and energy in your life to focus on this. And this can actually be an actual child in your life that really needs your attention, really needs your guidance, and really needs your time. And if this isn't a child, this child, the Princess of Wands, represents all of the wonderful hobbies, abilities, talents, play, things you want to do with your life that have nothing to do with responsibilities at work. This can be, anything you want to be doing with your life that has nothing to do with systems or making money. This is just what makes life worth living. Things like dancing, walking, hobbies, things that you enjoy, wanting to learn new things. And maybe you want to go back to school for a little bit, or learn something new, or take a course or classes in something. If you happen to be in a field that works with children, it can be that something about the system has become too, it's not paying attention to the needs of the children as much as before, if at all. And something about this needs to shift and change, because the children's needs are not being met the way that they should. And so you're thinking about, okay, what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be brought in, what needs to be flushed out or gotten rid of in order to best feed these children, or your hobbies or joys, or just things you want to do in your life that you enjoy. So you're going through that presently. In the future, these are two of your cards on top of each other. You have your Major Arcana card, the Hermit, and you have your Court card, the Knight of Pentacles. These are both Virgo cards. This is telling me that in the near future, in order to process all of this chaos and all of this change that's happening, you are going to be doing what you do best, which is reflecting, thinking, mulling things over, getting clarity, finding answers within, really assessing the situation, criticizing the situation as in positive criticism, really taking a very close look at what's going on and getting some clarity about what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be let go of, and what do you need to do in order to best have this thing work. This can also be soul searching, as in, do I really need this? Do I really want this? Should I do something completely different? Does this need me? And if it does need me, how can I shift this or change this or make this more efficient? Efficiency is the key here. Efficiency and what needs to be adjusted. And in order to know what needs to be adjusted, you need to assess it or look at it. Scrutinize it. And this also says you may need help. You, the great helper and healer, need help yourself. You do not always have to be the person that is running around helping everyone else. It could be you need an assistant, or you need assistance, or you need some backup or some help with what you're trying to do here. There may be other like-minded Virgo type people that are extremely helpful, extremely intelligent, extremely practical, willing to do the work, willing to do what it takes in order for things to run better. So you may be drawing in other people that are quite a bit like you that you can knock heads with in order to come up with a new way or a new system or a new set of rules or even a brand new thing altogether. But this says whatever you are looking over or whatever you're assessing, what really matters here is what you came here to do or what is meaningful for you to do. If you feel as though what you're doing is no longer meaningful or no longer being able to do anything because the system that you're working with is not working, you may need to strike out on your own or band up with other people who are like you to come up with a different way of doing the same sort of thing, just not under that particular system. Hopefully this is making sense, you guys. So, yeah, I see you as doing a lot of assessing and thinking and just getting clarity, getting help if you need it, and maybe running some ideas across other people that are also extremely intelligent that can help you figure out logistics or what needs to be done about this. If you need help, you can get it. If you need to cut back on your hours, there are other people who can do your job. You can train them to do your job. Or you may just need an assistant to help you with all of these things you're trying to do. And so your clarifier with this is the Wheel of Fortune. You got this before too, didn't you? Yeah, things are really moving for you in the future. It feels like you're up for a huge positive shift, and it's because you have finally decided on something. Or you finally decided not to do something all on your own anymore. And whatever this new thing is that's coming in, it looks very beneficial for you. It looks like major positive change. Things are about to get a lot better. You may have sudden breakthroughs or sudden opportunities that come out of the blue, and they have a very good chance of growing slowly but steadily and becoming very reliable and practical and helpful for you in the future. If you're in some kind of service work, this says you may end up discovering the perfect job where you're able to use your abilities and be able to help others in a very efficient, good way that doesn't involve having to work under something that isn't working anymore. There may be somebody watching who's in the medical world, and you're thinking about going more into things like herbology or homeopathy or just any alternative method of healing. You may be thinking about taking classes about it presently or taking classes about it presently, and you may be actually implementing it in the future. In with what you already do, or finding a way to take a step out of the system you've been working with and look into other methods or other ways of practicing this, where the rules aren't so limiting, let me put it that way. And this is a great opportunity that is practically handed to you by the fates. So pay attention. These kinds of opportunities only happen extremely rarely, especially to this degree. And it's going to take your initiative to seize this opportunity when it arises. Please try not to get caught up in not taking care of yourself enough so that you're thinking straight and getting too caught up in the chaos. If you get too caught up in the chaos or you start feeling bound or trapped by it, you may not have your eyes open enough to be able to see this opportunity coming in the future. So you definitely want to get clear. You want to get clear. Take some time out. I'm looking at these two here. Take some time out to heal. Take some time out to get clarity, to get enough sleep, to get enough rest, to get clarity, to not focus on all of this mess so much, so that you can really focus on what matters. And as long as you get clear and are paying attention and are well rested and taking care of yourself, you will be able to have help if you need it. and you have an amazing opportunity coming your way. So pay attention. Okay, well, hopefully that helped or made sense. And I wish you all I wish you all the best. Many blessings to you. And stay tuned on my channel for your general reading for October. Okay, bye.